Pastor Roy Gearhart from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. I'm really excited about the reboot that we're making in these daily devotions. I'm looking forward to sharing them with you Monday through Thursday. Fridays are going to be a little freaky because I'm not going to be consistent on Fridays. It's actually my day off, and sometimes it's really tough to get that posted. But Monday through Thursday, a Monday Minute, Tuesdays for 2, a Word for Wednesday, and Thursday, how about a Throwback Thursday? And for us, what would that mean? Well, we're going to be looking back at the promises of God and how they are there being fulfilled for us through the grace of God. So we're going to look sometimes at the Old Testament and see where it is fulfilled in the New Testament through Jesus. We're going to see how God is making promises that we're still waiting on to be fulfilled. And we're going to also be looking for those promises that can be applied right now in our day-to-day lives, and we can trust in God. So with the book of Habakkuk, if we take a Throwback Thursday and dive into the promises of God there, what we see is God promises Habakkuk that he is not going to let the Babylonians wipe out the people of Judah, but that he is going to actually bring judgment down on the Babylonians. And this ends the book of Habakkuk with this prophet who was kind of fearfully seeking after God for an answer, encouraged, hopeful, and looking forward with faith. He declares in the final verses of the 3rd chapter that he's ready to trust God, to wait on him, that even if times are tough, even if they're tough to the point of being terrible, he's willing to wait on God and trust in him. We see a real model of faith, hope, and trust built on the promises of God. Now, how could we apply that in our own lives? Well, one thing I can tell you this, that when you read Habakkuk's description of the way the world was with injustice and fighting and strife and violence, you think that he just watched a day of cable news. I mean, it could describe our present day. And so there is a hope that comes to us that God is with us, that we can continue to put hope in God even when things are tough in our life, that we can follow in the footsteps of this prophet Habakkuk and say, okay, God, I believe in you and I trust you, so I'll wait on you, dear God. But how do we bring that into play in our day-to-day? Over the last couple of weeks, God has been renewing my mode of prayer. And he's been urging me to pray the scripture. That instead of just coming to him and saying, here are all my problems, I hope you can fix them somehow, the Lord has brought to life his promises for seeking him in prayer. Every day, the YouVersion Bible app pops up with a verse of the day. And often I find those speak to my heart in some way or another. But over the last couple of weeks, they have spoken in a particular way. Because I have a friend who's going through some really tough times and is really someone that I've been praying for and just really, really longing for God to do something good in his life. And interestingly, some of those verse of the day pop-ups have expressed promises of God that said to me, that's exactly what I'm hoping for my friend. That's exactly what I wish would happen for him. And I began to see that bouncing back into my own life. Yeah, and that's what I want too, God. And so I began to pray, not just throwing out to God my wish list that I've created, but now saying, God, in your word, this is what you've promised. And that's what I really am looking for. That's what I'm really asking and what I'm hoping that you can do for my friend and for me. And all of a sudden, it really changes the whole mindset that I have in prayer, that it takes some of that desperate pleading out of it, that I'm just wishing, and instead it starts me off on this footing of faith where I am trusting God's promise, that I am basing my prayer on what God has already said. I'll do this for you. And man, what a change in my whole demeanor to say, okay, God, I'm ready to wait on you. because you've promised that you would do this. And now I'm counting on you to do it. Take those promises of God, take them to heart, take them home with you. Pray over them that God would deliver. And like Habakkuk, you can wait upon the Lord with faith and with hope. May God bless you today. And as you share his good news, may God make you a blessing wherever he takes you.